Bada bing, bada boom. You know what it is. Me and my boy chilling on the Geeks Chat. Let's go, Goosey. How we doing?
Doing well, doing well. Excited to get into some of the big news from this past week.
Yeah, let's get right into it. I mean, first topic of the day, only topic of the day, one topic to speak about, the biggest topic to speak about in 2023. Jon Jones, the GOAT, is returning to MMA to fight at heavyweight division for his comeback. This is going to be insane. It's signed off. It's official. It's Ciryl Gane. It's March 4th. This is going to be insane. Also comes with a lot more branches. We got Francis Ngannou. That information being released that he's not going to be in the UFC anymore. And honestly, like the reaction to Jon Jones coming back is I'm super stoked. I can't wait to see his evolution. I know that he took a long time to come back to heavyweight because he took a very scientific approach. Really had all the guys in the lab. He has his own at-home gym. He's fucking shooting robbers and training dogs, and this is gonna be sick, man. It's gonna be like hopefully a more lethal version. I mean, obviously before he left, he was not notoriously known for getting the finish, but maybe at this heavier weight, these hands colliding with heads is a little bit more of an impact. So maybe we'll get a little bit more of a flashy Jon Jones. I'm stoked, bro. Goosey, what's kind of your like
Yeah,
initial
bro.
take
I
here?
mean, you're hyping it up, and you're right because this is a huge event. One of the bigger fights in UFC history for sure. The return of a possible GOAT. Whether you are in on the PEDs or whatever, put that aside. He is one of the best fighters to ever step in the octagon. He's been off, and now he's making a very, very highly anticipated return. Um, I hope that he gets back to his roots, because at the end of his light heavyweight run, he was starting to get stuck on the feet a little bit, try and strike at distance. These heavyweights hit hard, and if you're stuck out there on the edge, you're definitely putting yourself in the danger zone to get caught. Ciryl Gane can do it, and Ngannou obviously was a threat, but I hope Jon Jones gets back to his roots. We see him training with Henry Cejudo, get that wrestling going a little bit. If he can work these takedowns, he brings a little bit of a flair to heavyweight that only Curtis Blades is bringing right now. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah. And I mean, I just watched Ariel Helwani interview today live. It was Richard Schaefer, the guy who kind of closed the deal for Jon Jones and did all that kind of inside stuff. And he was kind of, talking about, and even Dana White said it in his presser, that they felt for Jon Jones that Ngannou was kind of the easier matchup. They think that Ciryl Gane is a better stylistic matchup, against Jon Jones, and that he, is more diversified. He's just a better MMA fighter completely, is what they're pretty much, hinting at. And I'm not sure if I completely agree, with Francis's condition coming into that fight with a torn up knee, still being able to get it done, dig deep 3 rounds. Obviously Ciryl Gane kind of blew it there in the 5th round, but I mean, it happened. I mean, Ngannou, won those rounds. I mean, obviously you can make the argument for damage and whatnot, but we all saw who was on top, and he really had to tough out those last 3. So, Ngannou really is, I feel like, the guy that's at the top, but that's kind of the narrative that they're trying to push, is that, Ngannou really didn't want the smoke or whatever it is. But Ciryl Gane's legit too. So they're right on the same playing field. I think that Ciryl Gane and Jon Jones is going to be one of the most tactical stand-up fights of all time between the heavyweights. Undoubtedly. I mean, these guys are just tit for tat, like some of the most like dynamic strikers. Like, these guys are so pinpoint with the way that they can land their strikes on their opponents, and they're so majestic in their movements. Like, obviously, we're gonna see Jon Jones, at heavyweight, which is gonna be completely different. But man, dude, from where he left off to now, they're both like, just they're gonna be moving in the octagon, and it's just gonna be like magic, like art. It's gonna be so like, it's gonna be pure, man. Like, that's
For sure. For sure. I mean, Ciryl Gane, he is an absolute sniper from the outside. He hits bombs, very well-rounded striking game. I definitely know what you mean about him being a harder fight because tactically he's just so on point, and even though he doesn't have the best power, he can still hit you with some shots. And I think that he will trade a few combos instead of a few power punches like Ngannou, which Ngannou, because I don't think the grappling was going to be a threat, but that power is something else, you know. And as good as Jon Jones is, that was going to be the hype around that fight. Can Jon Jones, one, avoid the punch? Can he be the matador with the bull? And if he does get hit, can he take it? Because that would have been a spectacle. And as good as Jon Jones is, Francis has the most powerful punch to ever step in the octagon, you know, and that's the great equalizer in combat sports. So that was definitely the hype there. I think somebody getting left out of the mix here that we're not really talking about is Stipe Miocic, you know, because it seemed like he was definitely going to be the guy to fight Jon Jones if it wasn't Ngannou. And then this one just kind of fell through the cracks. Dana mentioned it a little bit, but that story still seems a little weird to me.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely tweeted, after the matchup was set that he wants the winner. So maybe he just needed a little bit more time, whatever's going on in his personal life. But before we end this little quick snippet here on the GOAT, I do want to say that a lot of people, the line isn't, absurdly blown away. They do have Jon Jones a slight favorite, right now, but I don't think that this is, as easy. I know everyone's flooding on Jon Jones, thinking that this is going to be a cakewalk or whatever it is. We've never seen him at heavyweight. And from the videos I've seen, he's sweating pretty profusely. The body operates at a different, function, different level. It's a totally different, vehicle you're driving. So, I wouldn't be surprised if this is a super competitive fight. And I'm definitely not giving this to anybody on either side to be a cakewalk. So I'm thinking that this is going to be a fight to remember, and a generational moment for the MMA world. We're going to get our GOAT back at the heavyweight division. So let's get it, man.
Yeah.
What do you got?
Yeah. See if he can get his way back to pound for pound number one, because I believe with the win, you got to put him back in that spot, because the only reason he's out of that list right now is because of inactivity. If he comes back, and I mean, Ciryl Gane's arguably the best heavyweight anyways, a very close decision against Francis Ngannou. It's not like Ngannou's heading away the best fighter in the world at heavyweight. You can make a strong case for Gane. So especially if Jon Jones goes out and gets it done even more dominant than Ngannou, I think you got to give him the crown.
Facts. All right. That wraps it up. Jon Jones is coming back to MMA. Let's go. UFC 280 something, March 4th. I think it's 285, 284. It's going to be a spectacle. Let's get it on.